Associates. We're glad you could join us today for our webinar, which is Unlocking Value, the Price of Condition, a new topic in our ongoing series and our first webinar of the year. We're looking forward to a great year with you. And today's presentation is led by Karen Lawlor and Donna Weaver, Realtors and Seniors Real Estate Specialists with the Wendy Slaughter team at VYBE Realty. How are you ladies doing today?
Great, thank you.
Good morning.
Yeah, I'm Jeff Stauffer, Community Relations Director with Elville and Associates. I'll be your host and moderator for today's program. And if this is your first Elville webinar, welcome. We're happy that you're here. And if you're a returning attendee, welcome back. We always encourage your questions throughout the presentation. Please use the questions panel on your screen, and we'll be sure to address them during the program and at the end of the presentation. And for our professionals on today's webinar, you can receive 1 CE hour for attending. So please email me your accreditation or ID number as soon as possible so I can submit your hours and arrange your attendance certificates. And following the webinar, you also receive a brief feedback survey, and we always value your thoughts and review every comment. So we appreciate you taking a moment to share your feedback with us. And here at Elville and Associates, our attorneys, we work every day with families and loved ones using thoughtful planning and elder law strategies grounded in education, collaboration, and being compassionate to every client every day. We're always available to speak with you. Reach out to us. I'll be happy to get you connected with one of our attorneys, whether it's estate planning or an elder law matter, Medicaid and estate and trust administration matter, special needs planning, whatever that might be, we can certainly advise and counsel you. So with that, let's get started. I'd like to introduce the presenters today. The true pleasure of introducing Donna and Karen, who have been in our webinar series for many years. Serving both her clients and her community, Donna always goes above and beyond in everything she does, whether she is carefully guiding her clients through each step of the buying or selling process, or volunteering to help make a positive impact in the community. You can always count on her to put you and your best interests first. As she says, I truly love being a realtor, but it's not just what I do, it's who I am. Also presenting is Ms. Karen Lawlor, who is also a realtor and seniors real estate specialist. She has worked with top regional and national home builders, as well as premier realtors throughout Maryland, to stage thousands of homes for sale. She has been chosen to design spec and model homes for new construction sales. Karen keeps current on education and interior design to evolve with the changing trends and top selling features. So Donna and Karen, welcome back. Thanks for being here today. We appreciate your time, and thanks for all you do for our community. We really appreciate it and grateful for you. I'll turn it over to you.
All right, thanks, Jeff. Good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us today, and Happy New Year. Today we are going to be talking about one of my favorite subjects, is the price of condition of your home. And we're going to talk about how little, maybe some small or big improvements that you do on your home can help you with your bank account. So it's very exciting for us to share that knowledge with you and our experience. And just to introduce myself for a second, again, I'm Karen Lawlor. I've been a realtor and a home stager for 21 years. And Donna?
Yeah, hi, good morning, everyone. And thank you, Jeff, for having us again. It's always a pleasure. I've been in the business for 15 years, and I just still really enjoy helping people meet their lifestyle goals. You know, whether that's downsizing, upsizing, buying or selling, this is truly a passion for me. So I hope that we can instill and give you some ideas on how to make the most of your asset if and when you're ever ready to sell.
All right, so today we're going to just introduce our team to tell you a little bit about who we are. We're going to talk about the market. Everyone always wants to know what's going on in the real estate market, how are the interest rates, and then we're going to get down into it, steps of unlocking value for your home, and a little bit about what we call our platinum plan. And so we'll share all that with you. Lots of good stuff to cover today.
Yeah, and feel free to chime in if you have questions throughout. We love the interaction. We're kind of not really following a script. So yeah. Please feel free to participate.
We want to customize it to you and make sure we're answering all the questions that you have. So yeah, briefly, this is, we won the Best of Howard County. So just a little, that's our team right there. That's Wendy in the middle holding the sign, Wendy of the Wendy Slaughter team. And
So you can see we're pretty much all women except for Rocky.
exactly, women-owned business,
Our HR director, but
right? And these are our stats. We've been in the top. That's what I'm super proud of. We've been in the top 1% in the state of Maryland, and you saw how small our team is. It's not a lot of people. So we work really hard. We are number 5 in Howard County and number 12 in the state of Maryland. And 91% of our business comes from referrals.
and that's what I'm most proud of, because if we do a good job for our clients, they're going to refer, and that's how we do our business. I mean, it's the most important number one thing is to make sure that our clients are happy with the work that we provide, the service we provide.
And this is, you know, we talk about our secret sauce, and as we go through, we're going to kind of unfold all of that for you. But, you know, if you follow our plan and our guidance and our advice, we've proved that over the past 16 years, we consecutively beat the days on market by a lot. So for instance, in 2024 was the latest stats. We haven't figured out 2025 yet. But our average days on market was 9 as compared to 22 days in Howard County.
Right.
And then Donna, would you like to talk about all the things that we do for our community, or a couple things?
Sure. So, you know, I mean, we're very involved with our Howard County Association of Realtors in general. But one of the things that, you know, I've done in my career is to bring in what we call the Thanksgiving Basket Drive through a nonprofit that I helped to co-found called HCAR Cares. That stands for Howard County Association of Realtors. And it's the nonprofit charitable arm of that organization. And we do a lot of things. I mean, we don't just do this Thanksgiving basket drive during the holidays. We work all throughout the entire year to volunteer and give back to the community, whether it's building beds for kids who don't have them with other nonprofits like Sleep in Heavenly Peace, or we're working with Grassroots or the Food Bank or Columbia Community Cares to deliver groceries. There's many different ways that we can give back, and that people before profit, I think our motto is it's really important to us, as it not only individually but as a team. So
that's great. Thanks, Donna. And here we are going to talk about just some stats. So this is the most current that we could provide for you in November, because again, they haven't calculated all the December numbers. So we're just going to talk about November of last year, because that's the most current data.
they're comparing last year November to this year November to basically just give you an overview of, you know, what's going on in the market, how many units have been sold on average and the median price, as well as units pending versus active inventory. We're still, I'm sorry, Karen, I'm kind of jumping in here a little, but I wanted to just let people know that the inventory is still not balanced. We still have very low inventory. 2.5 from 2004 to 2025 is pretty on, you know, it's remaining pretty much the same throughout the entire state of Maryland. But a balanced market where you have as many buyers as you do sellers is really 4 to 6 months of inventory versus 2.5. So what this is saying is that we have, we still have lower inventory, less people.
Right. So from last year to this year, it's 2.5. But Donna, do you remember, we've been doing this webinar for years, and we update this slide every time we do it. But in years past, do you remember, Donna, it's been at like 1.4 and 1.6?
Yes.
So it has come up from there, even though 2.5 is still very low. It's still better. The months of inventory is still better than it was in those crazy COVID years, like 2020, right? 2020 to like 2022. Yes. It was nuts.
Yes.
So it's a little bit better than that.
And with interest rates starting to kind of tick down just a little bit, we're
Exactly.
seeing more buyers come out. So, you know, I think they're still not all there, and they're being picky because the values have gone up, but the interest rates are starting to tick down just a little bit.
Right. That's why I wanted to jump to here. I'll go back to the other slide, but since you talked
Sure.
about interest rates, yeah, just kind of wanted to jump to here. As you can see, again, when I had mentioned 2020 to 2022, not only had we had low inventory, but the interest rates, you know, they were down at like 3%. So it was just bonkers. As Donna said, it was the wild, wild west.
Right. And so this goes to talk about why the inventory is still so low, because when people had access to the lower interest rates, they refinanced. Many people refinanced. So their mortgage payments came way down, and they, you know, they're able to stay in their homes,
Right.
and maybe improve them, right? But stay there, not sell, because if you're going to sell, now your interest rate is that much, you know, it's doubled from
Right.
what you were able to refinance for. So we find, I've heard it called the golden cufflinks, you know, or an, not cufflinks, what do you call it when you have the
Handcuffs.
handcuffs, sorry, golden handcuffs, that they're, you know, a lot of sellers don't want to leave or sell because they have such a great rate.
Right. But the good thing on this chart, if you look at the very, very end, is there is that little dip down. So, you know, where we were last year around 7, now we're down to 6.
Yeah.
So that's good. And I'll just flip back to this because we were talking about interest rates. So, yeah, Donna and I, we were chatting about this right before we got on the call. We were having a little powwow about the market. And on this slide, we were talking about the average days on market being 29, because, you know, it all depends on, it really goes back to what we're talking about today. It all ties into the condition of your home and strategic pricing and how you can get your average days on market being the 9 days like we had talked about on that chart rather than 29. So, you know, we're excited to be able to share this information with you. Now, we're going to shift the focus to you, and we're going to talk about how we can help you with that. So when you guys are looking at getting your home ready for sale, the first step is decluttering, right? This is something that we think about all the time. You know, I don't know if when I say the word decluttering, I don't know if it's triggering for anyone, if you're automatically thinking about all the extra things that you have in your basement and in the storage room and in closets and all the things that are difficult to tackle.
Yeah, decluttering is one of the most challenging things that we faced. And it's amazing. It seems like when you start, everything starts to grow. But we do have, you know, if you cannot do it yourself, if you cannot sort through room by room to keep trash, donate, or sell, you can also hire resources to help with the decluttering. A lot of moving companies these days do it too. They've got chapters of their organization that just come in and can help you organize and declutter. But starting with, I think, going room to room and just tagging the things that you wish to keep, trash, donate, or sell is a great way to start that process. And we have a presentation about decluttering and all the different resources and such, but yeah.
Right, but we're just here to encourage you to, I know this is daunting when you're starting out, but just try to move forward and go for it, because at some point you're going to have to do this, right? You know, the presentation of your home is going to determine directly like what you get in your pocket and what you take to retirement from there and where you go for your next step. So it all starts here. And like I said earlier, like Donna said, we have a platinum program, and we have downsizers, and we have people that we work with that we can refer to you to help you get started in this process. So don't hesitate to reach out to us and ask us for any resources, because our platinum program are a group of professionals that we've gathered in all the different categories to be able to help you. And I think everyone might be getting the slides, but what we wanted to do is we wanted to put a few slides together to help you get started. Of course, there are many other places where you can donate things to, and there's consignment and so forth. But I think that we put this together because a lot of times people need a company that can come pick things up, can come pick large things up, because we all don't always have a truck, and we don't have people that can load furniture on a truck for us. So we've got the Salvation Army, and how you can go to their website and put your zip code in and figure out how they can help you out. And we've got AMVETS. I think when we went through this, the idea was gathering some ideas of people who can pick up large things from you. And Habitat for Humanity.
Yeah,
I think
and
some do pick up and some don't.
there are so many others. These are just a few.
Right.
Like I work a lot with if you're in Howard County, Home of Our Own Howard County is a great organization. They will come and pick up depending on what it is. They don't take large furniture, they take smaller furniture, but you can do an inventory and they will come and pick up as well. So, there are just so many others, but we're just giving you a few here in this presentation.
Okay, now we're going to get a little bit further into the process. So now we've decluttered. That was step number one. Now you're going to take a look around your house at the deferred maintenance, all the little things that you can live with. I'm just laughing right now because I'm looking at the RIP screen right there, and I have RIP screens out in my sunroom right now. Again, things that I can live with, but when you're ready to sell your house, we're going to get all those little items taken care of, because we don't want buyers to go around and start making a to-do list for themselves, because that's going to tick down the cost of what you're going to get and what they're going to offer for you.
Yeah, it's amazing what we don't see, because we live in our homes the way and it's normal. We live in our homes. I mean, we just don't see a lot of these things. And so that's, I think, one benefit for having, fresh eyes, new eyes come through your home to look and give you some suggestions. Like maybe there was a stain on the ceiling from a prior leak that had been fixed, but it's still there and you don't even notice it. And it's not a problem. But a consumer might come through and say, uh-oh, there's a leak in the ceiling here. There's something going on. And deferred maintenance are things like that. Or maybe, you need to get your HVAC cleaned, or your gutters cleaned, your landscape cleaned up. But yeah.
Yeah, so we'll go with you through your house, inside and outside, and help make a list of all the deferred maintenance that needs to be tackled. A lot of times this, but again, like Donna said, we might see something that you forgot about. And then repairs, it's a little bit deeper, right? So the deferred maintenance are all these little things that you forget about. The repairs are things that that need to be fixed. And it's a good idea to get all of those things done ahead of time, because if there are repairs, if there are things broken, that you would have to disclose that to a buyer prior to them putting an offer on your home. And again, that's giving them a to-do list. Like, okay, this is great. I still want that house, but I'm going to offer them $10,000 less because I need to take care of this, that, and the other. And perhaps it might cost you $2,000 or $3,000 to fix it. So it's always beneficial to you to take care of those things ahead of time.
Yeah, I think the only thing I can say is, when I'm working with buyers and I'm putting myself in a buyer's position, really, it's not about necessarily updating your house so that you have the most current updates in it. I mean, really what they want is, they want to know, how old is the roof? How old is the HVAC? How old is your hot water heater? How old are the windows? Like, they want a working property, and those are more expensive items that they would have to look at to replace. So making sure that everything's in good working condition. Doesn't necessarily have to be new, doesn't necessarily have to be fully updated, but it needs to be in good working condition. And that's what this is talking about.
And this is what we had kind of alluded to before, that in our Platinum program, we have people that can do all the services for you. So let us be your like resource guide. If you need anyone, I mean, if you have people, that's great. But we've just gathered some professionals that we work with on a regular basis. So we're able to offer these referral sources to you.
Yeah, and can I just add to that, that I just recently worked with a client who was downsizing, and they had to get their home ready for sale. And we have a contractor that came in and basically, quoted them for everything that needed to be done. There was some flooring and paint and a couple of minor updates. And the beauty of it was they didn't have to pay for that, for those updates until the home settled. It came out of this sale. And it just took the whole stress level down for them, because instead of hiring this contractor and that contractor and trying to manage it all, they had one, it was a one-stop shop, and it just made it a lot easier for them.
Yeah, that's great. And what is the key to having a great selling experience? The condition of your home is the foundation of your selling experience. So we're going to deep dive into that, because this is where we can make money for you.
Yeah, and let me just say this. I want to say to those of you who may be looking at selling an estate or a property and you don't have the resources and you're not going to do anything to get that home, in a different condition, it is okay to sell a home as is, but the price point that you sell at is going to be different. So right. The idea here is, if you put some money in to making some strategic updates, our goal is to always get that out, to get that back out, to be able to list your home at a better price point, and to make you, the most on your asset. So always, if you put, a penny in, you get 2 pennies out. That's the goal.
Okay, so like I said, we're going to dive a little bit more into this, and we're going to talk about strategic updates. Like, as you might be wondering, do I need a new kitchen, in order to get some more attention to my listing, more showings? Because the more showings you get, the more offers you're likely to get. And with multiple offers, they tend to compete with each other and become better, perhaps throw out contingencies, and that's where we drive the price up for you. So we're going to put you in that position. We're just going to show you some before and after pictures, and then you let us know which house would you purchase. So this is the same house. We've got this one. Imagine driving up to this house and getting out of your car and making your way through all the brush to get to the front door, or driving up to this house. So there are lots of things that you can do. As you can see, curb appeal, they say, is everything. Your first impression, the first impression doesn't end here. Once you go through the front door, that's why we spend so much time on the front end of our listings with the staging and the photography, and we're going to go into all that and the strategic updates. But from the very beginning, this is just one example that we have that's done some, the necessary lawn care, hiding the trash cans. But another thing that you could do is, if you need a fresh, like, front door or a light fixture, or replacing the numbers so they're nice and fresh and contemporary. These are all small and affordable things that you can do that make a huge impact.
Yeah, first impressions are everything. So, you want to have nice curb appeal. And if you have brush that's overgrown, or, any garbage in your yard, I mean, you definitely want to take care of your landscape.
This is a pretty simple one that we have here. This example, well, this is the before and the after. So they did change their countertops to something nice and bright, aside from decluttering, right? Getting the everyday clutter away. But it's so funny because this one.
That makes me crazy.
right? And then you can't even like, notice like the double ovens. You just don't notice things
Right.
until everything's cleared away, so you're not distracted. And then you see these beautiful double ovens here. So this is just an example of simple decluttering and just a countertop change, which that's it, you know, because we're going to go through some pictures that have minor changes and some have more major changes. This one, it has more major changes. So this is beforehand. One of our agents walked into this house and was like, oh no, yeah, you are not going to get the equity out of your house listing it like this. So this is one of our agents who has a renovation company and did this. So obviously people are happy to pay more money in today's market for the finished product and something that they don't have to deal with, right? Everyone just seems to be too busy right now to tackle something like that. So that's a good one. I love that. So pretty.
That was a major, you know, kitchen update renovation.
Mm-hmm. And one thing I want to point out here is, so like, you know, back here, you know, they put some like nice shiplap on the wall. So it's really just nice to have all these different architectural features throughout the home that just gather interest, because buyers just really bond to that. And that's what we're trying to do as we go through and give you these recommendations. We're trying to help you with suggestions that are going to make buyers fight over your home.
Kitchens, bathrooms, primary bedrooms, flooring. I always say, you know, paint and flooring are like number one, right, Karen? And then it comes like fixtures and maybe even like light switches, you know, that just the panel over the light switch to make it clean and new and neat and matching throughout. There are little things that you can do that may not cost as much to do like a major renovation. But if like in this house, this was one of mine, the cabinets were actually falling off the wall. Nobody can see that here, but it was just, I mean, all the appliances were broken. It was not in good condition at all.
Right, so you walk in and that, how does that make you feel? I feel skeptical about everything. If this house is in great condition and the roof has been done and the HVAC has been done, I don't feel that when I walk into this house. I feel like, oh my God, if the kitchen looks like this, then what other problems am I incurring? So here's a little renovation on that. Now I as a buyer, and I walk through here and I see this, I have more of a peace of mind about this house.
It matched the rest of the house. It just really, really needed it. And this particular client actually was able to, you know, get back, you know, double what she put in. I mean, she was extremely happy about this.
That's great. It looks wonderful.
It really came out nice.
Here's another before and after picture. Here's a kitchen that hadn't been renovated in about 30 years or so. And here's the after. And this one did very, very well. Love the new countertops.
The backsplash is a little loud, but I kind of like it.
I love it.
Yeah,
this, actually, speaking of the backsplash, so this was it's actually a peel and stick backsplash here.
Oh,
so
wow.
we were working with a really tight budget. And what the peel and stick means is it's actual ceramic tile. It's just on the back of it. The back of it, it peels off and it sticks in. So it is actual ceramic tile, but it's much cheaper, and it was a great option to do something cost effective here. So it really came out great, and we got multiple offers, and it went above list price. So it was very exciting.
Very nice.
Here's another example that Donna and I have of, here's the before and the after. And this is a change of the vanity and the lights and mirrors. So I'll go back to the original.
Yeah, I mean, it's a different perspective. We're not zoomed out as much.
Yeah, you can see the tub and the reflection. Unfortunately, yeah, we're stuck with this before and after picture.
Yeah, but there just wasn't, I mean, it was paint and the vanity and the lights. And I mean, oh my goodness, it just made a huge difference to this room. And
then here's your typical, you know, bathroom with the blue tiles. Sometimes you might have seen the pink tiles in this style.
Pink, blue,
And then,
green. Pink, blue, and green are the giveaways.
exactly. So we just want to update, give it a nice fresh look.
And nowadays too, I don't know if people know, go back one just for a second, Karen. Like a lot of times now, what we're able to do, there are companies that can stain the tile. So you don't necessarily have to completely renovate. You can stain it white.
Also, another option, sometimes instead of replacing your tub, the contractors can do an epoxy on it.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Epoxy.
And current design trends. So this is what we're here to help you with. We're trying to help you create a product that is very desirable. Actually, the backsplash tile is similar to this one that I showed you in the other house. That's funny. I never noticed that. So, what we're doing now is we're adding more of like, as you can see in these pictures, more of like a matte gold with the hardware, the cabinet hardware and the faucets and the lighting. And we've been, seeing a trend in quartz countertops. We're not really using granite these days, but these are all things that we can help you on many different levels. So if you're looking to do some updates to your home and you're going to live there and you want to enjoy them, then and let's say you are anti quartz because you don't want the man-made countertops, you really want a natural stone, let us help you pick out like a quartzite or something like that that's just going to be like very sellable in the near future, because you always just want to prepare for that, because like we never know what's going to happen in life. So at least we can just help you maybe find something that you're going to love living with, but also is going to be a great seller.
Yeah, Karen and I were just talking before the presentation about people, like the new trend in flooring. Like if you go into a new builder's model nowadays, you're seeing luxury vinyl plank versus wood. And it's just more durable, it's more pet friendly and kid friendly. So, things like that, what's current, and we stay on top of that. Like, we want to make sure that if we are doing a reno or, you're going to get what's most popular, but not necessarily the most expensive when you're getting ready to sell.
Right. And that includes paint colors. We've kind of migrated towards, the colors are getting a little bit lighter on the walls. So we can help you pick the right shade. And I always say,
going away, right, Karen?
What's that?
The gray, people are saying the gray is kind of going away. It used to be like a lot of grays were a trend for a while, and now it seems to be going back to like a beige or a white, an off-white.
Like a creamy. It's hard for the longest time. Because they're not white walls that are in right now. It's kind of like a light creamy color, and it's hard. So what I always say is it doesn't cost any more to have like the most beautiful paint color on your wall, or if you picked a color that didn't just quite work, because sometimes you think you're picking let's say this nice creamy white, warm white color that I'm trying to describe, but you don't realize that maybe the one that you're looking at has a little bit of yellow in it or a little bit of pink in it, and you get it on the wall, or a little bit of blue. You get it on the wall and that's all it looks. It looks yellow, or it looks pink, it looks blue. So we're happy to help you with those choices. Reach out to us, and we can help you with a beautiful paint color on your wall.
Karen and Donna, we do have a question.
Yeah.
Sure.
And that is, can you address the rule in Maryland that says you have to disclose any flaws in the house? We will be putting a house up for sale, and my family is concerned about getting a pre-sale inspection.
Okay. You want me to take that
Sure.
question, Karen?
Sure.
Okay. So in the state of Maryland, the law states that if you have material facts or any latent defects, and what latent defects are things about the property that are not working that we can't necessarily see visually when we walk through.
Right.
So For example, if something is broken and you're aware of that, you need to, if you're not going to replace it, you need to disclose it. Oftentimes we do things like fireplaces are being sold as is because they don't know about it. It may be an estate or a family home where they haven't used that fireplace. If you do not have to do a property disclosure or disclaimer if you're selling on behalf of a family member that is deceased or no longer living in that house for a time, because they have no knowledge. You have no knowledge of what's going on in that house. But if you do have knowledge, you do have to disclose. Something behind the walls, there's a leak, there's a crack in your foundation, something, again, that maybe somebody would not notice or see visually. Those things need to be disclosed or repaired prior to selling.
But you do not need to disclose things that you have already fixed.
Right.
So if something came up in the past, you fixed it, you took care of it, that we don't have to do any kind of disclosure on that. They're just latent defects that currently exist.
Well, I mean, if there was a major problem like a fire or something, I think you still need to disclose. But, ultimately those things that have been repaired or replaced, you've fixed that issue. Is that answering your question?
And you don't necessarily need to get a pre-inspection because the disclosure is just what the owner has knowledge of.
But I will say, so if you're going to repair things ahead of time, you could use, let's say, someone that might be a handyman that can do these repairs. I'm not talking about things that need to be permitted, but things that you can get done maybe at a lower cost using a handyman. Once you put your home on the market, if a repair needs to be done and it's by the buyer's request, then typically typically most always has to be done by a qualified, licensed contractor, and it could cost you a little bit more money. So,
and you probably wouldn't be able to make those repairs yourself because they're going to require receipts with the contractor's license on it. So a lot of times you can make these repairs yourself or with a handyman for cheaper before you go to list it rather than during the process.
right, like a good example, I'll just give you a couple of good examples. Like it always seems to me that the laundry tubs in the utility rooms are loose, right? I mean, that's a handyman item. They can fix that, right?
Right.
But if that goes along with a toilet that's loose, on a inspection repair request, they may say they want you to have a qualified licensed plumber, to fix those things. And that might cost you, a lot more to do. So there are things, and I think that also goes hand in hand with Karen and I or another, realtor coming through your home to kind of help you walk through it and identify some of those common things that you can do in advance so that they don't cost you on the outside.
Very good. All right.
Does
Did
that
we answer your question? Yeah. Or are there any other questions at this point?
She says it definitely did answer her question. Thanks very much.
Awesome.
Okay. All right. Now we're going to get into getting ready to sell. All right. So now we've done all of our repairs. We've done our painting and we've done whatever updates we need. We can sell your house at any time, whatever situation you might be in. So sometimes it's easier to move out first. And if you are no furniture, if you don't have any furniture, no problem. We can provide virtual staging for you. This is something that's come up over the past few years. It's gotten more popular, the virtual staging, thankfully, because it's a lot less expensive than physical staging, which we'll show you that too. Some houses, definitely require the physical staging, but some houses can get away with just the virtual staging, which is at no cost to you, because our team will provide the service for you to prepare the online marketing and the brochures. But it's a great option because as people are flipping through the pictures, trying to figure out which listings they want to see, this kind of helps you get an idea of a really good layout for this home. And another thing that might be better is the person's furniture that was in that home might not have looked great and it might not have been laid out great, but you're stuck with it. You have to photograph it like that because you don't have any other choice.
Yeah. So,
It's
I mean,
customized.
good points, Karen. So I will just add to this that if you are getting ready to sell and you're getting ready to put your house on market and open it up to the consumers to come through and view your home, I always recommend, if you can do it, go stay somewhere over a weekend with a friend or a family member and open up the home so that you can have as many consumers come through as possible. Yep. Without having to schedule, like you might be there cooking dinner and then you have to stop and get ready and get out, or you have to continue to keep the house clean. If you can leave the home for a couple of days, that's very helpful and less stressful on you. Also, you may have pets, and kids, and they just make a mess. And it's difficult to get in and out when people are scheduling appointments to see it. And I always say there's like a honeymoon period when you first put your home on the market. This is when you're getting all the attention. So it may just be that you have one appointment after the other. So I always recommend that. And then as far as staging and the virtual staging versus physical staging, or just having having it vacant, which basically is virtual staging, I think that it depends on your home, the layout of your home, how people can envision living in your home. The virtual staging is showing you what you can do with this room. But when they get there, it will be vacant. So does that matter? And I think that's where it all comes down to, right, Karen?
Case by case basis.
Case by case. And, when people come into a vacant home, there's a feeling about it being vacant. When people come into a home that has furniture in it, it feels warmer, right? It feels a little different. So, but again, it just depends on the property.
Right.
And, the
we
location.
can work with you and talk about the pros and cons depending on your house and what your situation is as well. Here's another one, no furniture. I mean, if you walk into this house, what do you see? You see like the cable wire, all that stuff that you couldn't help. Well, I guess they could have wrapped it up and put it behind the TV, but even if they did, it still feels very cold, doesn't this? I feel very cold, even though it's got a great coat of paint on the walls. It's fresh and it's clean, but it's cold. And then this is beautiful. I mean, this automatically makes you feel, this feels like a home.
I don't like the wire.
I know.
I don't like that. It needs to be wrapped up.
That was neither one of our listings. That was someone on our team.
But I will say this. I will say that when you have physical staging, it can take your eyes away from some of the negatives. Like if there is a little bit of a negative, like maybe there's paint that you weren't going to paint the entire room, so you left the paint and there may be some touch-up areas, but physical staging may pull somebody's eye completely away.
Exactly. There's so many reasons. I mean, even location. Let's say you're like on a busy road and people are going to have a lot of objections with that. Maybe that physical staging on the inside, as soon as they walk in and it feels all warm and it's beautiful, and maybe they're gonna be like, all right, well, no big deal. So that's why we said it's case by case, and it just depends on your home as to which we think is going to be the best solution.
And and your budget and what you want to do.
Right. And these are just examples of like the physical staging, which again, we said is always going to feel much warmer when you're walking through the home.
Yeah.
And then also this room has a spectacular view. It's got spectacular architectural detailing with the roof, and it's beautiful. And if someone walked into this room vacant, they'd be like, oh my God. But having it physically staged adds just that extra, that extra feeling into
And
that room.
it's a warmth factor too.
Right.
And it makes you want to stick around. It makes you want to look out the windows. It makes you want to sit down. It makes you want to light a fire, you know, and have a
So
cup of
I always tell my sellers, that's the goal. You want your buyers to stay and you want them to feel like they can sit down. If they sit down in your house, that is a good sign. And so they can't do that if there are no chairs.
That's true. Very true.
And this is another bedroom that's been physically staged.
Yeah.
And
So
photography.
Go back one, Karen, because I want to say something about that. So this was one of my listings, and see the carpet. The carpet is a blue carpet, and honestly, like blue carpet is not really like, I think if you were going to replace carpet today, you probably wouldn't choose the color blue.
Right.
You know, but with the physical staging, it just, and the paint, the new paint color on the wall, it just doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's a great point, because you can, I don't know if you're able to do this, but just imagine the room without the furniture. That blue carpet's like staring you in the face, and what's someone going to say? Oh God, we need to replace this. But when they see the furniture and how lovely everything's laid out, then it's like, oh.
We're trying to really present all the positives. And to do that, like there was a beautiful closet in there with this closet system, and you know, the spectacular views, and I mean, there's just so much to be excited about with this property. And it was color, I think the color was like a salmon before they painted it.
That would have been fun to have a before picture.
Yeah, they had some really interesting colors, you know, like really like some pastels and different colors for every room. So we just kind of neutralized everything. Yeah, it really came out nice.
Okay, so now the next step is we're taking you step by step through the whole process, right? So we talked about deferred maintenance, well, decluttering, deferred maintenance, the repairs, doing the updates, doing the staging. Now we're at photography. We're almost done here. And you know, you can see how important it is, the before and the after picture, to make sure that your photos just look stunning. Because again, those great photos are going to get people through your house. It's going to get traffic through your house, which is going to lead to your offers.
Right. A lot of people will come in and just do like, they'll use their cell phones where, you know, and we know our cameras are getting better, but we always use professional photographers to do our photos and to do our, you know, brochures. This is, you know, you're putting your best foot forward.
Right. And then the last step, now we're at, we've got all of our marketing materials done. Now we're going to talk about pricing it right. So, you know, the first thing that we're going to do, obviously, is we're going to like comb the neighborhood to see if there are any comps that are close to your house. So we can figure out how to price it.
Size and amenities and location, you know, we want to make sure that we're looking apples to apples as much as you can.
And sometimes it's really easy to pull comps. It's like a no-brainer because it's a common style house, and you know, it's just, sometimes it's very easy. The reason why we put this picture in this slide is because this was a dome home in Western Howard County. You can look at it and know that it looks very unusual and think, how do you comp that out, right?
How do you price it? How do you price it?
How many of the
are there in Howard County? You know, I mean, or in the state, actually. Not very many.
To further complicate this, they had $200,000 in upgrades. It was gorgeous on the inside, absolutely gorgeous. And there's the heated pool and the geothermal system and all these amazing features to make it even more complicated.
Yeah.
But we did it. I think this home ended up with like $60,000 over list price. This was a really fun one for our team. It was just stunning. And this house is actually, if you remember, we looked at the physical staging pictures. There was that bedroom up there. This is the outside of that house that we just looked at with the blue carpet.
Yeah. I mean, this is sitting on, it's again, you know, it's not cookie cutter. It's a very, unique custom home, and it sits on 12 plus acres. It has, it's just very different, and you have to know how to market it and all of the extras and the interesting features to it, in order to get the most for your client out of their home sale. But it was hard to how do I say this, to come up with the right price.
Right. It's not
Really
easy.
have to study it. It's not always straightforward.
Right.
It depends on the updates. It depends on the location. It depends on the amenities of the home. So just because people will go to Zillow and say, oh, well, Zillow says my house is worth X. Well,
Zillow's a robot.
yeah, that's not, and they even have a disclaimer because they can't see the inside of your home. They don't know what the condition is. They don't know what you've done to the home to add value to it. Or maybe what's wrong with it. You just don't know. So it's very important to get a professional valuation for your home.
And pricing it right is, again, all these steps. These are all the critical steps that we're going through with you. And you don't want to price it wrong from the start. You don't want to be like, oh, well, let's try it at $50,000 more and see what we can get. It's just going to hurt you in the end. I promise you, your house will find that extra $50,000 if you price it at the right spot, which we can help you at. And I can't say, it's not a formula. It's not like 10% below market price. It's nothing like that. We have to go through all the data, and we can help you find that sweet number that's going to get you those, hopefully, multiple offers and less contingencies, and get you where you need to be to get you the most for your home. And that's what this was all about, which, again, we talked about our Platinum program earlier, but we put this together just so we can refer the right people to you. If you need help with decluttering and organizing, and if you need someone to come fill out, we've had people that need to empty an entire house out and sell it, junk it, donate it. And Donna had mentioned earlier, I think one of the most unique features that we can offer you is a pay at settlement option. I know I'm doing that when it comes time for me to sell my home. I know that that's what I'm going to do, is I'm going to have them come through and fix and repair and replace everything that needs to be done so I can get top dollar. I'm absolutely doing that. So it's a great option for you. And here's just a couple testimonials, just some of our previous clients that have worked with Donna and I. And again, the reason why we put this in here is because people's opinions and experience means so much to us. And we can't work unless we get a referral from you. And we're not going to get a referral from you until we've knocked your socks off. And so that's our goal every time, is to just do a great job for you, make you happy, make you buckets of money. And we want to thank you very much. So if you're ready for your next adventure, whatever that is, like Donna said, downsizing, upsizing, whatever it is, we're here for you. So thank you very much for listening to us. And we're here to answer any questions if you have any.
Less stress, more happiness. I love that last slide. Well, thank you, Donna and Karen. Lots of great information as always. I've personally worked with Donna and Karen. It's hard to believe it's been about 4 years at this point, when I had a relative pass and I was the personal representative, overwhelmed at the whole process, as you can probably imagine, but they helped me get the home in good condition that needed to be sold, in appropriate condition, had everything done in a very timely manner, and couldn't have been happier. So I'm still always grateful to both of you for guiding me through that process, which was a challenging time. So thank you.
Yes,
you're welcome.
Yeah, so now's a great time for any final questions. We have some people saying no questions. You've answered all of them.
Wow, that's great.
Do you work in Montgomery County? So the answer would be yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, we'll wait for just a minute or two. So our webinar series continues forward. I always send out the videos, the video and the slides from the presentation, which I'll do by early this afternoon. And like I said, it moves forward. Tomorrow we'll have Kelly Nelson with Maryland Able. This is always one of our more popular presentations of the year. She'll be talking about Able Accounts, a financial tool to promote health, independence, and financial stability. And then on the 23rd of January, Steve Elville will be back with a featured new presentation called Estate Planning is About Love. And I'm really looking forward to that, so that he's customized for our webinar series. Also on the 30th, Protecting What Matters Most, Estate Planning and Elder Law Explained, our first Essentials event of the year. And then we'll have Mr. Max Bremer from Quantum Insurance, Quantum Advisors, I should say, back on February 4th, talking about life and long-term care insurance in today's marketplace. So he was back in May of 24, and it was a really outstanding presentation. Lots of questions from people, so I hope you can join us for that. Let's see if we have any final ones. No further questions. So Donna and Karen, thanks so much. Let's do it again.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
We appreciate your interest in our firm as well and our webinar series. And please reach out if we can be of service to you. Hope you all have a great day.
All right.
We
Have a good one.
Thank
Thank you.
Have a great day.